Let's use that as the beginning. So it's 1 o'clock. Welcome everyone. My name is Coco Tan, and I brought my big helper Zen to this line today, and he's my customer service specialist. He actually has a background in hospitality. He actually studies hospitality, so he's the expert in customer support. So jointly, we'll be giving you, hopefully, I wouldn't want to call it a course. We wanted to study together to talk about the customer. I guess the title is Thy Customer and Themselves, right? How to understand them. So let's get started.
Let me it's not in the slide. So I guess while people are still coming in, let me open up the PDF file.
We can talk about this. So basically, I'm giving a textbook for the course today, but there's an interesting thing in the end of the course. They're asking which kind of personality you have. So are you a prisoner? Are you a the explorer, or are you a vacationer? So then you want to explain what they are and then see who they are, and then we can try to get that started from here.
Yeah.
That's toward the end of the slides, but we wanted to bring up to the beginning because we think it's very relevant. Yeah.
Right here. Because I guess as the first presenter, we're talking about not only what to teach, but how you're going to learn. And this is interesting because you guys probably don't need to even be told this, but it's asking you if you're going to be a good student or not. The 3 types, 2 bad, 1 good. Quite interesting.
So the
prisoner has to be there. Doesn't want to be there. Say it again.
Yeah. And prisoner is like you are forced to learn. You're forced to be here. Oh, I don't really want to be here for the class today, but I'm kind of a prisoner. I'm forced to be in the class, right?
Yeah, exactly. So the prisoner is basically resisting. I don't think any of you are forced to be here, so we probably don't have any of those. And the vacationer would just be someone who's here but not here at the same time, trying to do some work on the side, someone who's a little bit distracted. But hopefully we have a lot of explorers that listens attentively, pays attention, and participates in discussions. Mostly this is going to be a lot of discussion because I thought we were going to fill up maybe 45 minutes, 50 minutes, and then pass it on. But if it's going to be the 2 hours, this is really going to be up to the participants to share stories and opinions. You'll notice later that a lot of the videos that we share are just people sharing their opinions. And it's really important to know from their perspective what to think, but we also want to know from your perspective what to think.
Yes. Yeah, sorry for interruption. That's why I brought Zen here, because he has this, for those people who came in, joined us late, I'm Coco Tan, and Zen is my customer service specialist because he had his background in customer service and he actually studies customer service hospitality. So we wanted to make sure we, because the topic is very, very relevant for customer service. It's almost like, when I think about it, it's almost like getting a license is one thing, but how to service the customer is another thing. So that's very important. I want everyone to be an explorer today. So I encourage you to turn on your video, and for participation, we can do some case study and you can share with me your story and we'll share with you our stories. And hopefully this will be a case study session. So make the course more fun instead of for me to listen to me lecture, right? Real estate is less about lecture, but more about, I guess, solving problems. So each case is unique. Let's get started. So,
all right, let me share the PowerPoint.
We went to the end of the presentation.
Yeah, I went
to basically find out who you are, whether you are, oh, do you think it's a good idea, since we'll have 2 hours, do you think it's a good idea for us to give each other a quick, brief introduction so we know your background? Whether you are seasoned realtor or you're a new realtor, what you're looking for to get out from the class. Can we just spend about 5 to 10 minutes to go around the room?
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah.
Here, if I stop sharing, then
yeah,
whoever talks will be.
Yeah, let's do that.
And anybody want to give a quick 30-second, 20-second blurb about who they are?
Or even just 10 seconds, yeah.
Sure.
I'm Terry Bellios. I've been licensed for about 22 years, been with KW for 11. And I'm here because I want to know more about Coco. So I know you're following the material, but I do want to know more about you. So Terry Bellios.
Thank you. Thank you, Terry. You can ask me any questions. So even if it's not related to the class, it's okay. Yeah.
This is Rod Hibner. I'm not as experienced as Terry, but I just got my 10-year anniversary card from the office.
I got that too.
Congratulations. So I'm looking forward, like Terry, I don't know Coco, so I'm really looking forward to hearing your nuggets and how you've been successful.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, ask me any questions. I guess today we can make it Q&A session. Okay.
Hi, John Jenkins. Been in real estate for 20 years. I've respected Coco for all her incredibleness, and so here to learn from the master.
Oh, thank you, John. Hopefully we'll learn from each other. 20 years, it's a great time.
Hi, I'm Yvonne. I'm at the San Jose Gateway office. I got my license in 06. I came to KW about 7 years ago. And I'm looking forward to learning from you, Coco.
Oh, thank you, Yvonne. I look forward to learning from you too. So you're going to be the second session, the coach for the second session. So anything I messed up, you can just salvage it from there.
You're doing great.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Dennis Scott. I've been an agent since October of 2020, so I'm a new agent. And I have some experience in customer service and in retail and things of that nature. And what I'm really looking forward to learning is the customer service experience in the real estate transaction. How can I make that a better experience?
Great, great. Dennis, are you in the office? Is that why you're wearing a mask?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I was going to say that we're keeping social distancing now. Great. Thank you. Nice to meet you.
Nice to
Hey,
meet you.
Coco. I'm Cindy, and I'm in the Campbell office.
Hi, Cindy.
And I've been an agent now for 3 years, I think, since 2017. And I was a TC, transaction coordinator, and assistant for about 12 years prior to that. So I do know, a lot about, customer service and how important that is, but I think there's always room to learn new techniques, and I hope to pick something up from you today.
That's wonderful. Thank you. I have Zen because he has a lot of theory, and I have the real world experience. I wanted to really combine those. So that's why I want to do this combination. Yeah. Great. Thank you.
Hey there. Can you hear me?
Zach?
Yes. Hi.
Yes.
Hi there. I'm from
Zach, where's your
Gateway.
video?
They're not on? Oh, I didn't have it on. Sorry about that.
No worries.
I'm from San Jose Gateway, and I've been licensed since March. And I'm just kind of excited to hear what you have to offer. I heard about you last week, and funny enough, I start seeing your name on listings around town. So I'm excited to hear what you have to say.
Oh, great. Thank you. Look forward to speaking with you further on your side of the story too. Wonderful.
You're
Heather, I
muted,
think you're
Heather.
Yes, I was. I'm sorry. My name's Heather, and I've been just less than 2 years in the Campbell office. I'm a former elementary school teacher and wanted to change and do something different. So.
Oh, that's wonderful. You know who was a teacher before? Kathy Bridgman. Kathy Bridgman was a teacher at middle school in Los Altos. Now she's the biggest real estate agent in Los Altos. So that's a great future. Great background. Yeah, thank you. Jeremy, you were saying something.
Hi, I'm Jeremy. I'm out of San Jose Gateway. I'm just hitting my year mark, and I just want to learn from you.
Thank you, Jeremy. Great.
Hi, I'm Jeanette Rosales, and I am also an agent at the San Jose Silicon Valley office with you in Campbell. And just really looking forward to hearing what you have to teach us today. I see your name everywhere. I hear all about you, and I'm really excited to learn.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Jeanette. Yeah, nice to have you. AJ?
Hey, Coco, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm with the Silicon Valley office.
Same office?
Same office. I've run into you a couple of times at vendor appreciation lunches. I don't see you too often in the office, but now, of course, the office is closed.
Yeah, we're all working from home now.
Yeah, but I'm excited to see what you have to say. We don't get it too often to hear some expert advice from you, so it's always good to hear from you.
So I was asking Rob that, can I go by my own material, just like talk about case studies? He said, no, you have to follow follow the textbook. Oh, I'm not trying to round him out. I'm on recording, right? But anyhow, I encourage everybody, bring your real cases. I think that'd be a more effective for learning, because whatever on the textbook is more dry, I would say. It's more theory, and how do we apply that theory to real life? That's really important. Yeah, let's try that. So maybe you can think of some scenarios. Let's try to analyze it. Okay, great. Lydia.
Hi, Coco. This is Lydia. I've been licensed for almost 2 years and joined a Campbell office for 1 year. And you are, of course, one of the big names that I know. And I speak Chinese too. So always looking for your class, and very lucky to join your class today.
Oh, thank you. Okay, next time we'll do a one in Chinese. Okay, all right. So let's see. Did you talk, Monica, or you haven't spoken yet?
Not yet.
Yeah.
I'm Monica. Coco, I'm from Campbell office as well. And I heard your name everywhere. So today is actually the first time get to see you, kind of like although it's virtually, but it feel like in person. So I'm very excited to learn what are you going to teach us today.
Oh, great. Thank you, Monica. That's great. Yeah. So for all from the same office. Nice. Yeah. Sangeeta.
Hello, Coco. Nice to see you. Means I met couple of times, but never had interaction. I am already liking your class. It looks like more interactive. So I am Sangeeta, Yajnesh Rai, wife, and my background. And we are in the same office, Campbell office. And my background before this, real estate marketing and business admin. And I used to help in background Yajnesh TC work and all the marketing work. But since 2018, I got my license because he always wanted me to be a realtor too. So now I am in the same game, and I heard about you. So good to learn some more tips from you. So looking forward for your class.
Oh, great. So Yaj, right? Yaj had that big billboard, right?
Yes.
I saw his billboard on the highway.
Yes,
that's great. Nice to meet you. Yeah, I think we met before. Yeah, wonderful. Let's see. Andy, I see you turn your video, but I don't see you. So we have, oh, here we go.
Oh, did you say me?
Oh, Shirley.
Okay. Yeah. Hi.
Shirley, hi.
I just went on a bike ride, looked like a mess. I'm in the Campbell office as well, and I have been doing this for about 2 years. And I'm going to see one of your houses on Saturday.
Yeah. Saturday, Stokes?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, cool. Yeah, sell it.
Yeah, I'd like to.
Bike ride is great because very good weather out there. Yeah.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Nice to have you, Shirley. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Andy.
Hey, Coco. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
I'm Andy Meunier out of the Coldwell Banker Cupertino office. Good to see
you. You
everyone.
have to introduce to me. I think I know you.
That's right. Good
Are you still at the Cupertino Coldwell Banker?
This is actually a fake background, but yes, I'm still in the, we actually moved down the street, so we're across from Lazy Dog and all those restaurants at Cupertino Main Street.
Oh, I didn't know you guys moved?
Yeah, we just moved into this office a couple weeks ago.
Oh, so the whole Coldwell Banker Cupertino moved?
Yes, yeah.
Oh, what happened?
Yeah. I think we were just looking for a space that's more inclusive. So the new place has a center that's very inclusive, and it's like a big circle, so everyone can kind of share ideas. And it's a nice place. It's good.
Oh, nice. So the previous place is no more real estate firms anymore?
Yeah, the lease was up, so they decided to move somewhere else.
Okay. Yeah, so I used to be, for the rest of you, I used to be in that office. So we used to be in the same office. That's at Coldwell Banker before I joined Keller Williams. That's why. That's so great to hear, have you here. Well, how did you hear about the seminar today?
I think I got an email from Ross.
Oh, nice. Okay. Wow. Okay.
I'd pop in and check it out, say hi.
That's great. So thinking about moving. Or maybe just have a chat. That's good.
Yes, just to have a chat. Absolutely.
Great. Good to have you, Andy. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, wonderful. Patty. We have Callie and then Sandy. Priyanka.
Hi, Coco. Nice to meet you. This is our second meeting. A couple of times I meet you in the office, and I have done too many open houses for you. Thank you so much for that opportunity.
Oh.
And yeah, I'm from the Campbell office. I would say last 2 years I'm from Campbell office, and before that I was same industry. I used to work in real estate industry in India. I have around 10-year experience in the real estate.
Oh,
and,
nice.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Yeah. And I'm here to learn from you. How do you handle lots of customers?
Let's talk about it. That's wonderful. Good to have you, Priyanka. Yeah, great. Kelly.
Hello, Coco. Hello, everyone. So my name is Kelly Edwards, and I work out of the San Jose Gateway Keller Williams office. I've been an agent for a little bit over a year, but my background is in customer service management. So for about 15 years, that's all I specialized in. So I bring what I learned from dealing with all types of customers into the real estate world. So just trying to get some more exposure from your side and from everybody else.
Wonderful. Thank you. Good to have you.
Thank you.
Let's see. Margaret. I think you're muted.
Yes, hi. I'm so sorry. I was stuck in another meeting. I really wanted to come in and see this. Hello? What? Am I in trouble somehow?
Yeah. Hi, Margaret.
Hi.
You want to give
Meg,
us
you have to introduce yourself, Meg.
Oh, okay. My name is Meg Apple. I've been in the business over 20 years as a part-time agent. I've been with Keller Williams Silicon Valley since 2010. And currently I'm a mentor and I teach the scripts practice class.
Oh, great. We can use some script today for customer service. Definitely. That's wonderful. Okay. Good to have you.
Great.
So if I make any mistake here, please correct me.
Oh, I wouldn't dare.
All right. I think we have Sandy. Did Sandy speak? I forgot. I think Sandy, right?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, I'm in also the Campbell office, your office. I've been there about 2 years now and in the business since the late 80s.
Oh, wow. Nice. Good to have you, Sandy.
Yeah, nice to see you in person.
Oh, thank you. I don't see you though.
I know. I'm actually at my daughter's house, so.
Oh, that's okay. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Okay. Then we have John Lu.
Yes, hi everybody. I've known Coco for 13 years. 2 hours is not enough. Maybe we need to expand this to 4 hours. She's very complicated. Yes, thank you, Coco.
Okay, thank you, John. I know John for over 10 years, so which is good. Okay, so hopefully you can help me out if I mess up anything. He always make fun of my English, so.
And also just to say, one of your shoes is out of frame. I know that's important, so you might want to sit back a little bit.
Are you serious? Okay, so I'm sitting a little far because I have a TV screen. If I sit in front of my screen, actually I get dizzy. So anyhow, I'm sitting back. This is my live stream room. I do seminars. This is my live stream room. So That's why. This is my YouTube, my WeChat, and my WhatsApp. So anyhow, I think we got everybody, right? Did we get everyone? What, did I miss anyone? If I missed anybody, please let me know. I'm not sure if my screen caught everyone here. Oh, I think I missed a lot of people. Actually, there's a second page. So let's see. Crystal. Oh, Crystal does not have a mic, a video. No problem. So she's from the San Jose Silicon Valley office. Great. It's our office. Help me out. Just speak up, and then if I missed you. So anybody else?
Hi, this is Tam.
Hi, Lan.
Myself.
Nice background.
Thank you. I used to be in KWU office, and I got this email from Rob. So that's how I know the class. And currently I am with Realty World Dominion, and this is my 3rd year in the business.
Oh, nice. Great. Good to have you, Lam.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. So what else?
Okay.
No, we have a bunch of other people. Should we can catch up with this later. So anybody who wants to jump on. Yeah, let's get started. Yeah. Okay. That's a good good introduction. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, that's great. It's really interesting that most of you are actually here for Coco. You're not even here to for the PowerPoint, the text, or the slides. You're here for Coco, and that just proves that it's not even always about the process. That you can do everything right, but it's really about the person. It's about you and your relationship to your clients. It's not about the steps of selling and the steps of buying. This is a more people-oriented industry than just about everyone else in other industries gives us credit for. We're not just like a salesman like telemarketing. This is very live and in person, even in times like now. Okay, so let me start the share.
Maybe share the screen so we can get started into the contents. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So why are we here? There's a few reasons why we're here. First is that we're going to learn to turn clients into lifetime fans that will give you good reviews and referrals, and will help you grow. So that's the first thing. The second thing is that in order to do that, we have to design a customer experience system instead of letting the problems handle themselves. And then once we have that.
This is Tam again. I know I've been calling you because my client is really interested in the.
Hi, Lan.
It's okay. I muted. I muted. It's okay.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and then so not only will you be able to do great things, but you'll also be able to prevent bad things from happening. And that's a real key, is how you handle the negative parts of it is just as important as how good you are when dealing with things when everything's going smoothly. Now we talk about, you guys should have all gotten some homework.
Oh yeah, did everybody get the homework?
No, I didn't.
It's about, it's like 5 pages of worksheets. Let me share that so that we can go over it in case people haven't done it, which is okay. And it starts off really negative. This is for more about self-reflection, because our unit is Know Thy Customers and Thyself, and it really starts with a reflection. It starts kind of negative. Here's the first case study we'll say. Here's the following scenario. Can you see the $24,000 lesson?
Yep. Yeah, maybe you can read off.
All right.
Just
All right,
read
I'm
off
just gonna
read it. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
maybe I'll full screen it. Yeah, so I'm just gonna read it, and this is a real email sent by the owner of a top real estate team. Team, we had a seller cancel after being listed with us for 1 week, and there was not one thing they said I did not disagree with. I am embarrassed, disappointed, and not happy. Just so we're clear, most of you have heard this before. When a client hires us, they have done so because they want the best. And they expect just that. Their expectations are extremely high, and rightfully so. At that point, their confidence is at its highest. And our job is to keep it there by doing what we say we will do and communicating often and clearly. So you see, a little thing like a sign not showing up when they were told it would causes them to question whether we're too busy or whether they are even important to us. It's just a sign to us, but to them, everything is a big deal because this process of selling is the biggest thing going on with their lives. We need to treat it that way. When our sales partners don't go see their home within 5 days like they were told, their confidence in us goes down. When the write-ups or photos are not world-class, we lose credibility. When the client sends an email to the entire team with information that is important to them and us, and not a single person has the common courtesy or common sense to reply, what does this say? I know this. It does not scream, you're important, we care about you, you chose the right agency. I hope that every person reading this is bothered by it, because if not, then you should be looking at whether you are up to being on the team in our area. Please be honest with yourself and with me. If you are who I think you are, then take this as a valuable lesson because we just paid $24,000 for it, and learn and realize how important the customer experience is. So that we can all focus, learn, and remember, I want each of you to take a minute and reply to this email with a sentence or two on what your definition of exceeding the customer experience is or should look like for our team. Thank you for understanding. Wow, that's a frightening email to receive.
And I wanted to ask everyone, have you ever received an email like this before, or a scenario?
Or have you had to send an email like this before?
Yeah, I want to let you know that I certainly have encountered this before myself. So I wanted to see how well you did in your past 2 years or past 20 years. Have you ever had this kind of experience before? Any comments? Anybody want to share anything like this?
Hi, Coco, it's Christina.
Hi, Christina.
Hi, I have never received an email regarding that, but I think that if someone's going to take the time to email you, regardless if you're their agent, friend, coworker, you should take the time to respond. It's common courtesy, and I think that if we did this in everything, we can be better. So yeah. I don't think it's just about real estate. I think it's about family members, friends, coworkers. Regardless if you're making the 24,000 or not, it's just common courtesy. And I think that that is something that someone's going to take the time to email. You need to return the email. So
okay,
that wasn't too negative. I was trying to be positive with that. So
right, correct. I was thinking about, just like the letter was so right that in the beginning, the clients will be, the confidence level will be the 100%. They were excited they chose you, but anything after that could be destroying that confidence, right? Could be when you take a photo, that pillow is not in the right position, then they start to picking on it. What I found is, especially if the market is not going as strong as we're hoping for, and then sometimes they start picking on anything and everything, even your MLS verbiage, your flyer, how this is not best representation of the home. And all of us probably know that verbiage or that flyer may not be the important thing to sell the home, but the homeowner think that's a huge deal. Then they start picking on everything, right? So I guess just this becomes to be, what I really want to focus on in this letter is that every little detail is important, is a big deal for them. So I almost want to say customer service is like, oh my gosh, just like when then you are in a casino, even if like a small little thing that happened, then everything good you did was wiped out, right? So so that's the biggest lesson I think I learned. It's just like, okay, you have to be so detail oriented. Nothing can be relaxed in a way.
Yeah, and here's another question. If just say you made this customer, so you screwed up with this customer, what's the damage? Is it just one lost customer or is it greater?
Oh, this is much greater. So I lost the client. not even because of me, okay? We did such a fantastic job with them. But very unfortunately, I referred them a contractor who turned out to be really bad. It's a heartbroken story because they loved me. The clients loved me, but the contract screwed them. And I happened to be referring that person to them. I even referred multiple people, but they chose this person. And then right before that relationship got broken, they actually referred me a client. But guess what? Of course, the relationship was broken. That client, of course, went away. So, and of course, many potential referrals could be going away as well. So this is the biggest lesson. I think we're sharing our lessons. That's something for you to learn, right? Mm-hmm. Sharing lessons is just it's a good learning experience. So you don't have to go the bad route as what I have experienced. Yeah.
All right. Okay. And so all in all, customer service, it's like dropping a pebble in a pond. There's a ripple effect. So it increases your business if it's good and decreases your business if it's bad. Throughout this course, you will learn how the little things make a big difference when delivering a wow customer experience. You will go from E to P when you set expectations, serve your customer, survey and get feedback from them, surpass expectations, and sustain your relationship for a lifetime. In each chapter, you will design and deliver an experience that is unique to each of your customers using the 5S model. The goal of this CX system is for you to have quote unquote raving fans for life. And when the customer thinks real estate, they think of you and of Keller Williams. So what is your goal here is to have repeat and referral business because that's what benefits you. And then the goal for Keller Williams is going to be to create a family of consumer-centric agents delivering top-notch experiences and to be known throughout the real estate and service industries as the pinnacle of customer experience. Here is the steps. And today what we're going to be talking about is actually before even step one, because step one actually goes into what you're doing for your clients. But this is stuff that you need to think about before you even approach the client to know yourself and know the client. So
the Yvonne will be teaching the step one, correct?
I think she has two.
Step one, yeah, set. Oh, serve.
It's going to be both set and serve, 1 and 2 tomorrow.
Okay. So Yvonne will be teaching that set and serve, and we're before all the steps. We're just basically try to go from how to understand the customers. So before we even start set or serve them. Okay, go ahead, Zen.
Right. And then here's from the book, The Millionaire Real Estate Agent. And you can apply the 5S model no matter if you're dealing with buyers and sellers. And coincidentally, both buyers and sellers, the process of dealing with them is 10 steps long. And the key here is not that you know the 10 steps and you know what comes after what and you know what goes into each step, but to evaluate exactly how you're doing each step, that you can apply this model to every one of the 10 steps. You can apply this model 50 times. And just by improving any of those, you can improve the customer experience. All right. And a lot of you have probably heard of customer service, because if you call up a company and you go to customer service, that's what you're expecting. But in this entire lesson, we call it CX. We're transitioning away from customer service and making it a customer experience. And the reason for that is that service is from your point of view, the provider's point of view, and the experience is from the client's point of view, the customer's point of view, and that really makes all the difference.
And for that, I want to mention.
So this leads us.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, for that, I want to mention something is that sometimes we think that, oh, we already give the service that they ask for. How come they don't appreciate that? So I think that is the important thing is basically what you are providing them, you cannot assume they can understand what you're trying to do. Maybe they misunderstand the concept of what you're trying to do, or maybe they just don't really know exactly what they can expect. So that's why the experience is very important. So we have to really think from the customer perspective, even though you did this and that, but they didn't really know this and that is important to them, or they didn't really know this and that means what. So this, when I say this is a little abstract, but I'm sure you have experienced in the past that I did this and that already. How come they didn't appreciate it? You know.
So hey, Coco, I have a question on that. That's a really good point. This is called the disconnect between us and the customer, right?
Right.
So in your experiences, what is the best way to get to come to a match, right? So sometimes we feel like we did the best and the customer thinks, no, you didn't do. They don't agree with us. In your experience, what kind of things we can use to, or what are things that you have used to say, okay, hey, I understand the customer and I can deliver the service according to what they expect of me?
That's a very good question. That's actually because we're dealing with people. So everybody's different. So some people thinking that if you deliver 1, 2, 3, 4, then you are fine. But some people think that doesn't matter what you deliver. They only want to see the result. So let's watch the video and then let's save the question to almost like the end of the session, because that's essentially what it is. Whatever you're asking is a great question. That question actually is really what we are talking about today. How do we have that connection? How do we, so we don't mismatch each other's expectation? Yeah.
Exactly.
So thank you.
Yeah, totally. That is what you just asked is the theme of the entire presentation. So
exactly.
If we can answer that for you in an hour and 20 minutes, then that is our goal.
Exactly. So by end of the session, if we're able to achieve that, then that's wonderful. Okay. Yeah.
All
let's
right.
play the video. Yeah. Let's
everybody,
see.
Can you see the video on the, oh, sorry. Resume share. Okay. So can you all see the video?
Yep. Thank you, man.
Is it good now?
Don't call me a lead.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah,
or a transaction.
I'm more than that.
I'm your customer.
I expect more than just service. I want an unforgettable experience. An experience that delights me, wows me, exceeds my...
Let me try to move it.
My imagination. My customer experience isn't defined by you. It's defined by me. It's not one size fits all, but personalized to me. I expect you to listen to me, because my point of view is the only one that counts. I'm more connected than ever. And the truth is, my reviews to friends and family can help or hurt your business. The story I tell about you depends on the experience you provide me.
And I will gladly sing your praises because I know you care about me. You're customer-centric and put me first. I trust you because you're reputable, knowledgeable, proactive, and you communicate with me. You do what you say you'll do, and you do it well. You prepare me for what comes next. You check in to see how I'm feeling about your service. You bring value to our relationship and stay in touch even after the transaction. You provide an unforgettable experience. And when I think of real estate, I think of you and Keller Williams Realty.
So anybody have any thoughts about that?
Actually, that's a great video. I think almost somewhat answered a little bit to AJ's question before we played the video. you see, it's all about me. It's not about you, right? So when we're agent, unfortunately, it's all about you, not about me, agent. I think that's probably one big important thing to gap this connection is that think about you, not me, myself as an agent. So maybe that will help bridge the disconnect a little bit. But of course, that's not all because it's not one size fit all, it's personalized. So that's a very important thing. Anybody else has a comment or feedback?
I think the challenge, Terry Bellios, I think the challenge that we as agents have is that we always feel like we need to let them know why they should choose us. And so we're always trying to sell ourselves instead of digging deep on how we can service them.
Right. So it's not about how great I am, but about what you can benefit. Right. So it's all about you, not about me.
Yeah, and sometimes because it is such a people-to-people business, Coco, and I agree with Terry, is by understanding and by the customer, sometimes we don't have to impose our idea that how I conduct my business is by understanding what they need, and by getting from them, we can create much better emotional connects with them. So just learning from them. And once you make that emotional connect, that's when they will choose you, not because what kind of service you provide and how many years you've been in business, right? So.
That's a very good point. So the emotional connection, that's almost unbeatable, right? So it doesn't matter how good or how bad you are, or it doesn't matter how good or how bad your competitors are, but if they like you, then you got the business. I actually lost the listing. The seller was very responsive to the seller who interviewed me was very responsive to my calls and everything. So he wasn't hiding from me. So I asked about the result. He said, unfortunately, choose another person simply because his wife just likes the other person so much, not so much better, they just clicked, and simply because they made that connection. So there's nothing I can do. It wasn't like they don't like me. It wasn't like I cannot do a good job for them. It doesn't matter anymore. So that's a very powerful point. So if they like you, there's almost like nothing. It can be big. There's no competition in that case. But of course, there are many other factors as well. But I like your point, AJ. That is such a valid point. Yeah.
And what I wanted to tell you also, Coco, is emotional connect can be of different kinds. If I have an engineer type of a customer, then if they like numbers, then I have to understand that they like numbers. And so then not anything else matters to them. The most important thing is the numbers, right? Like the numbers as in the data and the numbers of the market. So I just need to understand that and kind of be able to serve. If I'm not good at it, then I find somebody on my team to do that, or somebody, an office colleague to do that.
Oh, that's a very good point. Thank you. Because that's when you have a team, or you have somebody who may be able to make that connection, right? Then you probably will be able to achieve that connection without being yourself alone. Yeah. Rod?
Thank you, Coco. So this little segment has caused a big aha for me for both working with sellers and buyers. And that is to add this question on my intake meetings. What will make this a great experience for you?
What will make the great experience for you? You mean like you can actually ask that question when you meet with the client, right?
Exactly.
That's a great point, because we many times it's not your friends, it's not somebody you knew for a long time. It's just like first time interview, right? Especially for a lot of sellers, they call you for interview. Buyers, maybe you actually grow some kind of relationship with them, so they actually know you. But sellers maybe just called you out of blue, out of your farm, or out of your sign call, whatever, right? So that's a great point, Rod. I like that very much, because we try to present ourselves in such a way that they may like us. We try our best to try to say things that we think they may want to hear. But Rod brought an excellent point that instead for us try to impress them, find out what they are looking for. So in that case, it'd be easier for you to if you want to please them, if you want to use the word please at all, if you want to please them, you know how to please them, right? So like AJ, you said somebody want numbers, but without asking them, you would never know unless they tell you, I want numbers. Some people may not tell you that. So you ask them, what can I do to make this a great experience for you? Then they say, okay, I'd like you give me a daily update. Or some people may say, I don't care what you do, just give me this number, right? So then you know what they're looking for. Then you work towards their likings, and that's how you connect them. I think that's a great question, great point, to ask the question instead of to assume. So never make any assumption.
That is true. If they want to tell you something about themselves, then you better listen. But also, on the other hand, part of our lesson is going to be about being proactive, and sometimes they really don't know what they want from you.
Yeah.
So the best, just like Amazon sometimes knows what you want to buy before you even know what you want to buy, or YouTube knows what you want to watch, or a master chef or a master hairstylist knows what you want without even asking you what you want. So if you can get into that kind of zone, if you can get your mind into that kind of zone, which is our goal here, then you'll probably have the best results. The next part of it is going to be like an interactive activity. Let me go to, okay. All right, and about what does the customer experience mean to you? And it's going to be, we're going to show you these myths. And then I want one of you to give me the correct answer before I reveal what the correct answer is. So here's what we used to think that customer service is, and then what the truth is. All right, so the first is customer service is defined by you, the real estate agent.
Now almost I think everybody on this call probably already know the truth, right?
Yeah, so just, maybe you can blurt it out then.
It's defined by the client.
Bingo. All right. Starts and stops at the end of a transaction.
False.
So where does it start and stop?
Lifetime.
Boom. Myth
So we always
that-
say want to be your lifetime realtor, right? So it can never end. That's the thing, you can never end. Even though our agency ended, right?
Right. Meet the customer's needs. What's the opposite of meeting their needs?
Exceeding.
Perfect. One size fits all.
No.
Every client is different.
Yeah.
Exactly. Address their issues as they arise.
Try to solve problems before they happen.
You guys are mind readers. Address issues plus any issues the customer didn't know they had. Like for when you do, home inspections and stuff, that's a key. I believe for the next one, I believe is a typo.
Sorry, I have one comment on this one. But wait, I hear a little echo for myself. Anybody hear echo?
Yes.
Okay, you want to turn off one of your mics. Turn off the mic in front of you.
Me?
Yeah.
Turn off the mic?
That's better.
No, it's not. The person sharing the screen, remember they turned the speaker on? I think that speaker needs to come on.
Oh, turn it off? Okay.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Better.
I still hear a little echo, but much better. Yeah.
Okay.
So I want to mention this because address customer specific issues that arise. I want to give a very quick example, like when we close escrow and then we need to hand over keys. So the customer would ask after the recording confirmation comes back, how do I pick up keys, right? So I think if you can address that question one step earlier, that will be a little better experience. Just say, oh, you're going to close, then I will be giving you the key somewhere. So it's kind of like you just plan them ahead so that they don't have to ask you that question. Does that make sense? That's a very simple example, but I always found that actually will increase the customer experience, make it better.
Okay, great. The next one, I believe it's a typo. I believe it's meant to say happens organically, because the truth is that it doesn't. It depends on the system that you have and how intentional you are when you go about it. And the last one is that success is based on feelings alone, that you can't measure it. Wrong, you can definitely measure success. Okay, and then the next one is going to be a video called The Experience Economy. Let me enable.
How are we doing speed-wise? Do we have enough time to cover all the videos? And then just want to
I believe so. I believe so.
Okay,
Yeah.
go ahead.
Yeah, so this one is going to be like a client talking about their previous real estate agent. And this one should get you to think about what your previous client would say about you. Oh, actually. Okay, so, it's going to be this one. Can you all see?
If you rate your experience, how do you rate it?
I mean, I thought it was like a 3 out of 5 for me. It's like I said, I mean, in the end, my goal was accomplished, and I got a home which I like, in an area of the city that I wanted to live in. Was one of my top choices, but I wasn't really like wowed by the experience.
Don't you think
in
you
any
should have
way?
been? Do you think you should have
I
been?
do. I mean, I very much I believe strongly in like the experience economy, and like when you talk about, I guess, the millennials or whatever our generation is, I think a lot more is kind of that experience economy, whether it's a product or a service. It's really about the experience that goes along with it. I don't know. That's just what I liked, and I just didn't feel like I got anything above and beyond. Like it was, it was satisfactory and it did what it needed to do, but it's like I don't think I would prefer her to.
And you probably wouldn't use her again.
Yeah, and I probably won't use her again. It just didn't, I guess it didn't match.
It didn't connect.
Me. It's like I said earlier, like I need like an eHarmony or like an OkCupid for real estate to get that match. I feel like she got me the house that I told her I was looking at, as compared to taking what I said and being like, you know what, like I see what you're saying, but I can get you something better. Like I have more experience than you, which she did. I kind of hear what you're saying. Let me see if I can find something that maybe is better for you. It's more like she said, okay, you want me to do a job, I'll do it for you. And she did it for me. But instead of like maybe taking a little bit of initiative to go above and beyond and be like, I know this is, where you say the areas you want to live and maybe the type of place you're looking for, but have you thought about this? I've had previous clients.
She didn't push the envelope.
Yeah.
I like the guy said the agent could have just followed his instruction and do what he asked for, but then she actually thinks something better may fit him. So that actually goes back to not only we ask what can it be a good customer experience for you, so that goes beyond like what can I do to make you happy. Not only you tell me what you want, but also I actually come up with ideas or information that you never know, but you never even know this can even fit better than you would think it would be, right? So for example, I'm thinking sometimes maybe a person who wants to buy a condo or townhome as a first home, but this example does not necessarily mean it's true for everyone. I'm just saying, but they actually have a little more budget. But if you can go a little higher in the budget and you buy a single family home, that may have a better appreciation in the long run. Of course, also depends on whether it's affordable and on whether they are up to doing the maintenance of the yard, a lot of other factors too. But if you can think beyond what they're thinking, maybe you can bring more value to them. So that's what then their experience will be a wow experience, correct? So I think, AJ, go ahead.
I had a very good example last week of this, Coco, and I wanted to share. So I sent a referral to Austin. One of my investor clients from here wanted to invest in several properties in Austin. So my process is, Coco, is I will introduce 2 or 3 Keller Williams agents, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to do this so I can understand, hey, who they will pick. And it is exactly that video or what you are saying. So I got to experience why they selected a particular agent, and it was to the T that, hey, the agent that they picked went over and beyond just providing a service. They picked somebody who they thought that would be able to enhance and make life easy and hold their hand and go beyond just getting them a few investor properties, right? And so it was a very interesting experience for me to sit in these interviews. This is a very close client of mine here in Bay Area. And so I introduced him to 3. So completely resonates with me that, hey, you have to go a little bit beyond just providing a service. And a lot of times we see that, hey, there's a slight difference, Coco, between, hey, you tell me what you need and I'll get it to you, versus I will look after you. I'll understand your requirements and I'll do better than just what you're asking, kind of thing. So just wanted to share that with you.
That's a great story, AJ. And I have more story to share. I used to work in corporate America. I had an MBA in finance. So my last job was at McAfee. I was in finance. And then I was relocated from the East Coast to here, California. So it's almost like 2 years after I was here, then our company gonna relocate us to Texas, Plano, Texas. You remind me of my life story. So I didn't want to move again because I just moved here. So why would I want to move again? So I was looking for a job that maybe I don't have to be moved, but almost every job has to have this kind of uncertainty, right? So I was thinking that I start something, because I was in finance, I started something finance related. So I started as mortgage loan officer at Baycal Financial on the Enza. So that's my part-time job. So I got a loan license. I was doing, and then the interest rates were very low. So I was doing refinance for people. And I want you to know that I quickly got a lot of clients, and I realized this is such a traditional industry and people don't normally go above and beyond. They just do what they ask. So they say, oh, I want to do a refinance for my 30-year fixed loan. Okay, then they do a 30-year fixed loan refinance. They want to get the loan for surround arm, so they get a surround arm. I don't know. I never even know that's how they worked. I just did it my way, because when I did when they come to me for a loan, so I said, okay, let's see. So if it's a young couple, right? So they are looking for a 30-year fix. So I just put my thinking hat on, just start thinking. So why do you need a 30-year fix? I mean, it's great to have a 30-year fixed loan, but you're so young and you're buying a condo and most likely you'll be moving. Maybe a 7-arm will be good enough, right? So that was back in 2003, by the way. So, and then the arm was so much lower. So we even did a 3-1 arm. And then the interest rate was keep going lower. So we did lowest rate possible. Then later on, they can, if the rate drops again, they can refinance again without any closing cost. And then for some other people, I recommend it for a 30-year fix. So the reason I mentioned this, even though it's not real estate, but it's really related field. And I want to mention this because I think I got more business than others because I was actually able to give them consultation, suggestions, or my advice. Because I'm thinking, it's more like, I'm not a financial planner, right? But I'm doing some sort of planning for them so that they don't feel like, oh, I'm just coming here for this loan. And then, okay, Coco, you gave me this loan, and then done. I'm actually saying, oh, you can do this also. So I gave them a comparison sheet and see how much money they could be saving if they do the other way, or vice versa, right? So I get them to start thinking with me, and then they really appreciate that. So they become to be my lifetime clients. So they say, okay, that's a great point. They didn't even think about it, but they realized whatever I suggested was correct. So I want everybody maybe put a thinking hat. When your clients ask me to do something, maybe think out of the box and then maybe something else. I'm not saying it's always happening because they may have already done their thorough research, but some may not. Then that's your opportunity to shine. Yeah. Okay, any other comments or stories to share? And then you want to go on with the textbook? We have a textbook to follow. That's my job today.
Right. Okay, so now we're looking at the Pareto principle, which, let me check if am I muted or am I not?
I hear you.
Okay, okay, all right. So the Pareto principle states that 80% of your revenue comes from 20% of your existing customers. Now, someone from Forbes called Perry Marshall, he even went one step further, and he found out that of your top 20, 80% of that, you apply the principle one more time, 80% of your top 20 comes from the top 20 of that. So basically, the top 4% of your customers are responsible for 64% of your revenue. That's interesting. And then another thing is that why do you want to maintain a good relationship? Because it's so much cheaper. It's 5 times cheaper to keep a customer than it is to get a new one.
I can't stress more than enough for that one, because we spend a lot of money to farm, to do advertisements, or or billboards. That's very expensive. But once you have a client, if you can keep it and if they can give you referrals, that's so much cheaper. That's really free. You can just pick up the phone and then they give you referrals if you have that good relationship, right? So that's free. It's just like, if you are not doing anything else better, make that call instead of right. So that's really, really important, yeah, to have that relationship.
And then earlier we were talking about damages and having a bad experience. And so what does it really cost you? And they did a survey. The second one is that the first one is that 25% after their first bad experience will switch providers. The second one, I don't quite understand, but it's that one person that will share that negative experience with 357,000 other people.
There's statistics, but we don't know.
Yeah.
I guess the big numbers of negative shares, because people share negative experience more than they share positive experiences. Yeah.
Right. And then if you do screw up the first time, 19% will lose their trust, and 59% have no relationship with their real estate agent. And this is what you said.
Yeah. If
your day, if you meet 10 people and 9 of them were pleasant, and then one of them was really mean to you, when you go home and you're going to talk to your family, you're not going to say, well, I had a pretty good day. 9 out of 10 people were very nice to me. You're going to say, man, there was this one jerk. Let me tell you what he did.
And that's the problem. No matter how well you did for other clients, if you screw up one step, then I think it's very dangerous. And then you probably wiped out all the good things you did. So be very careful. So almost like playing golf, right? So every single stroke is so important. You could be doing so well, then you mess up the last 2 holes, and here you go with your game, right? So anyhow, let's watch the next video. Yeah.
I wanted to bring one more thing, Coco, on that video before, where it mentioned about millennials and how they rank the customer experience. And he said it was 3 out of 5, right? And so she did the job, but and with regards to millennials, this is where I think what I find is, because the services provided in the new economy have such amazing customer experience, that we will be measured by a higher standard. We will have to step up and be measured by a higher standard of customer experience than what we are used to. When he talked about eHarmony or Match.com or Uber or whatever, DoorDash, these are experiences that are amazing. If there is one problem with this, we just drop that service and move on to something else. So I just wanted to, I thought something that I thought about is that for millennials, it is very important to have a service which is just 5 out of 5. You know, their ranking is different than what we are used to.
Yeah, just going on that comments, AJ, even for like Redfin, people have a very good experience in using their search portal. It's even easier than using MLS search portals. So that actually is quite a shame, I think, for our industry, because a lot of clients will be sending Redfin links instead of, if we set up a search portal for them in MLS, they don't like to use that. They think that's actually harder to use. So I agree with you, technology has been so advanced now. And then a younger generation who's looking for homes, they are very heavily relying on the technology. So they are not just rating on your traditional service level, they're also rating on your technology level as well.
And Coco, you bring up a very interesting point about Redfin. My daughter, who's just graduating from college, was interviewing with a real estate startup called Orchard. And it is amazing that Orchard is doing an eHarmony or Match.com kind of a service for real estate, actually. And so they are taking the concept of Redfin and going one level higher. I thought the best thing that Redfin did was they would go tour the house and put the comments back into their website about a listing, right? Saying, hey, what did they find? But Orchard is taking an intake interview for buyers and then matching the house. If you like bigger master baths, then they will match the house accordingly. And so these are the kind of startups that are coming up in the new economy that are trying to get the customer experience. People can look it up. It's called orchard.com, and they just got funding for.
So basically, they're trying to do the legwork for the customer. So without you even going to the property, they already know whether. So how do they find out whether they have bigger bedroom size? They
are sending their people over and then coding these things so that when people search and say, hey, I'm in my ranking, master bedroom, big size of master bedroom is the biggest thing, then they will present the results based on that. As opposed to your traditional, hey, does it have 3-bedroom, 2-bath? I need a bigger master bedroom, so those results will be presented first. They just got funded $36 million. So some of these things are coming. I know we have to up our game. Yeah.
This is really good because this is what we're supposed to be doing for our clients. Remember, we used to have those broker tours, and then that's where you actually preview the homes for the clients. But now we don't have broker tours, right? In order for you to preview, you also have to set an appointment. But the appointments are so precious nowadays that you don't even have enough time to book for your clients. Then you, not even to mention preview. But I'm sure with the inventory going to increase, we are able to do more for our clients. But I think you have such a great point for the technology, trying to help screen or trying to find the right properties before they even go out to see the property. And then the virtual tours, of course, right? So I think the virtual tour, that I was 3D tour, all those things, try to help them to screen out so that they don't have to spend as much time wasting their time. It could be some very obvious reason they don't need to buy the home, right? So yeah, definitely. I think those are called this experience that you want them to you wanted to share. Oh, I hear myself again.
Yeah, so, okay, so speaking of all the other companies that are doing improving technology and stuff, don't worry, Keller Williams has your back. Keller Williams, look at what's coming. Look at what's coming.
need that app.
It's coming in Q2 of 2019.
Anybody got the app?
It's already there. I'm a big part of the technology side. I came from the technology world. So it is, and they continuously are improving that. I'm part of a couple of technology groups at Keller Williams International. But whatever you saw on that video and then some, it's going to be amazing. I have the app Coco, and I have used it in many different occasions, but there are things happening right now which are going to start really rivaling it to Zillow and Redfin apps and things like that, and even more, even better, because they will literally give you a curated customer experience on one-on-one basis to your customers. Actually, so
that's what everybody should be getting. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's once it is at that point, and that should happen in the next couple of months. Watch out. Yeah, it's going to be awesome.
That's great. That's great, because we do need the technology to help us to preview for the clients, right? So to help select the properties. So at least give them some confidence that we're there for them. Otherwise, like, why do I need you, right? If I can go see the property with anybody, why do I need you? So we need to have that customer service or customer experience being assisted by the technology. Yeah.
And more one-on-one traction, because if they bring you Zillow and Redfin app and they send you the link to that, then you don't have that one-on-one traction with them, actually.
Exactly.
So having, yeah.
Exactly. A lot of, I don't know whether you guys have experienced that or not, but a lot of the younger generation, they would send me a Redfin link, because that's a very easy search tool, right? We wanted to use our own app and maybe try to attract them. Okay, let's go on with our lecture.
Okay, well, actually, that was the end of the introduction. So before we have our chapter 1, that was the end of it. Anybody want to share any takeaways or aha moments just from without even getting into any content?
Feel free to jump in with any questions. We want to make this as interactive as possible. Once again, it's not a theory. Customer service is not a theory. If it's a theory, then I always tell people, I tell my clients, real estate is not a rocket science. You can't just use a formula to do your work, right? So feel free to jump in with your stories or feedback.
Okay, all right. Now we're into chapter 1, Know Thy Customer and Thyself. Without customers, our businesses are not very useful. We would not be in business. Very obvious. Oh, straight into a video. So the first part is going to be Know Thy Customer. Second part is going to be Know Thyself. This is the Know Thy Customer part in today's time.
You feel like you had more knowledge on the property before the agent did?
We were finding information elsewhere that she wasn't going to find it, and some of that was.
What sites were you on that you found different property information than what your agent did? Do you know offhand?
I don't.
But you know that you found.
You'd run a variety of different searches with different kinds of keywords to see if something would pop up, and like I was able to find a previous
keywords
listing.
like what?
Just I had the property address and just a variety along those lines of add a word, drop a word, try to say for sale, include foreclosure to see if something screwy was there, whatever the case may be, to see if you could find additional photos of the house or some historic information of any sort.
I find the property, I find how much the bank foreclosed on it for. I go to LADBS, LA Department of Building and Safety, and I get pretty much all the records on it, and before I even go to the door and knock on it or step onto the property.
I'm a Yelper, big time Yelper. I Yelped everything. I Yelped the inspection person, the assessor, the mortgage, like anybody that had anything to do with the home. I looked at reviews, and I used homeadvisor.com as well. Like for the termite inspection, I would see who in my area was recommended, kind of like the Angie's List idea, but I used a lot of internet searches for things.
I would be curious to know what I could provide that you would perceive valuable, so valuable to say, wow, they seem to know what they're talking about. I want to choose them to represent me.
For people with kids, I think schools is a major, major thing. I mean, know everything that school has. Know what extracurricular activities they have. Know the programs. Know how the school is and compared to other districts in the state. What makes them stand out.
Any recommendations for other neighborhoods that would meet my needs? Any super secret houses that weren't listed that you knew about? That would be great.
All the things that you can't get online are the things that I want. Don't repeat what's on the website because presumably I did my homework already. Sure. It's those local things that you know by being there that I can't see that are incredibly helpful to me anyway.
This is a great question we posed. What information do you think you provided that your client think is valuable? I actually want to ask you, all the people on the call, I wanted to see at what moment when your client was like, wow, thank you so much. That's valuable information. Can any of you share some of the feedbacks or the stories in the past?
I'll share something. A recent multiple offer situation for a buyer. We were looking at a property and the counter was coming in above what they were comfortable with. And they also felt that something hadn't sold at that level ever in that community. So I went back a couple years and was able to find a couple sales in that community that did sell around the price point that they were countering at. And with that information, they felt more comfortable going forward with a little bit above their budget in order to achieve the property that they wanted to get.
That is so cool. That is very nice because they need to know, they probably looking for support, right? For that number. Where did that get the number? Is it because somebody else offered that number or is it because there actually were sales before? Yeah, that's great information, Terry.
Yeah. They didn't want to be the one making the new price point, right?
Exactly, yeah. Hi,
AJ. Yeah, Coco. So I'm going to use your example from last week. So we were submitting an offer on your listing on Kirtner Avenue, right? And so when you're doing that kind of analysis for a buyer, and I was working with another agent, so we were doing a joint deal, right? It's very interesting that you have to go beyond and tell the buyer what are the factors that will affect the price, right? Yeah. You have so many different things coming into the picture, right? Kirtner being a main street. So are you going to compare to something that is inside not on a main street? Or are you going to compare with the larger lot? Or are you going to compare with the school? So what I typically would do, Coco, and this is what I did in this case, and it gives a pretty good example, is you look at the school boundary, but you also take into account that it is on a main road. So you try to give the customer all these ideas and kind of give them a very good feel for where the market is, right? In the last 3 to 4 months and stuff like that, and how it is progressing upwards, like in the last 1 or 2 months, is it going upwards and by how much it is going upwards, so that they know that, hey, what they have to do in order to get a house. So that was a really good example of that house. My customer didn't get it because they couldn't go that high, but they got a very good idea of where they needed to be.
Thank you, AJ. And then just so you know, I understand how hard it is to fight for a home nowadays. So I hope by me also sharing a little bit more information after all the offers come in will be helping your client for that customer experience as well. Because I think sometimes it's really hard when we get nothing from the listing agent in the end. In the beginning, I really understand there's no information they know, or even I when I have a listing? How do I know what price will go to? I really have no idea, because I could be guessing in the range, but I could be getting mediocre offers that did not even reach my expectation, or I could be getting some crazy buyers exceeded greatly my expectation. So I think in the beginning, it's very hard to share because there's nothing to share when you have no offers in hand. Some agents are very secretive about the numbers or the offers. So, but that will create a very bad customer experience for the other side, especially if they go into contract without even further communicating with other agents. Meaning that if I have the Kurtner home, for example, AJ, if you made an offer and then you think you made a good offer, but I have no conversation with you, if I had no conversation with you, and then I just went straight into pending, and you asked me as I cannot disclose, then that would be very bad feeling for your customer, isn't it? But so for my practice, I don't want people, because not only are hurting the agent's relationship, but also I think the most important thing is you are hurting your customer experience by getting no information. So I thought I just help out, even though maybe far apart, doesn't matter, where offer is that this situation, are you able to revise your offer? I think it's a good practice for me. So I start doing that because that way, I was saying maybe just for people to really compete on the basis of their capability of making the best offer, instead of trying to be secretive. And then maybe, for example, I lost the offer. I made an offer for a listing, and then second day they went pending. After I chased that agent down, they told me, oh, it was $20,000 above asking. I'm thinking $20,000 above asking. We could have easily made it higher. Of course, it's my buyer's fault for not making $20,000 above asking. But had we been given that opportunity, right? So I've heard that over and over from my own buyer. So I think that's very important for customer experience. So that's also why I'm thinking it's important toward the end, just to help out fellow agents, so that you have a better customer experience when you making offers. It's a better education process for your buyer, as well as it's a value. They think that because they work with you, AJ, so that's why you got the information. Otherwise, maybe you don't get that information at all. They just lost for no reason. They don't know. Maybe they lost for a big distance, but they didn't know what they lost because it's smaller price or is because what. They have no idea. So I think that communication is important. Yeah.
Quite a bit to unpack there, Coco. Actually, so I got out three things from that, and thank you for bringing that up. You absolutely did share through my partner was the one who was putting the offer. So at 7 or 6:30 or 7, or even before that, John sent an email out saying, hey, this is the situation, this is what is happening. So thank you. So it gave us a chance to say, hey, to go back to our buyers and say, should we go there or not, or do they have the capability to go there or not, right?
Yeah, because they could say no, right? If they say no, it's their choice. But if they want to consider, then you got a buyer who may be getting to contract, right?
Right. Yeah. And the other things that you said, so I just wanted to share what I understood from what you were saying. One is you do that so that it helps not only you to have the fiduciary duty towards your seller so that you can do the best thing for them, but also it helps the buyer's agent to go back to their buyers to do that. But so that's one thing. The second thing is that, and I do this a lot, is in checking with the listing agent and telling them that, hey, will they help me? As long as I'm helping them to get the best deal for their seller, will they help me? So what I'm trying to tell them is, hey, I have a very, very motivated buyer. I can go very high, but please help me. So that if you give me a ballpark, I can go to my buyer and say, hey, do you want to go there or not? So it goes both ways. So Coco, so it does go from you as a seller's agent, but the buyer's agent shouldn't be just waiting for the seller agent to give that information. If you are really looking after your buyer, you should go to the seller's agent and ask them that question. Some of them will give you that information, some of them may not. but at least you should ask that question for sure.
Totally agree. Totally agree. I think some would help, some will not. That's the part, because I try to help my buyer by asking, but I don't get any answer, and then they went into pending. So our difference is only $20,000 difference. So that just really is a bummer, right? So then I think the buyer may even lose confidence in the buyer's agent as well. So that's part of the reason I decided, I think with this amount of offers, it's good idea to give everybody another chance, right? So I don't think, some people may think it's unfair to share the price, but it's also unfair that they're not giving a second chance. It's a very hard decision to make. But when the price goes to be so high that there's no real comps to support, like you said, it's on busy street, there's no really a busy street comp to support. How do we decide the value? There's nothing. Like, Terry, you can find something from 2 years ago, but now nothing can support it. Then what do we do? So sharing the information, I think, helps both the seller and the buyer. But it just sometimes it depends on the other side of agents. You're right. You can definitely try to ask that information. That's you're doing your job. And even if you don't get information, at least your customer experience is like you tried, right? So, but the other people don't share. So we have to try something else.
And Coco, I have to tell you, I have worked with a lot of good agents, both in our office and for my transactions. And the good ones, the most experienced ones, will always give you that idea as to what is going on, because they understand that in doing so, they're also helping their sellers.
It's a win-win situation.
It's a win-win situation. So I have taken, and I've only been there for 2 to 3 years, but I have taken it that, hey, if experienced agents in our industry can give us that, then they must be doing something right? By giving you that information, saying, hey, here is where we are. They may not give you the full story, but then you can read between the lines and say, okay, I need to get there. I need to go up here to be able to do that. So what I have learned is always ask. It doesn't hurt. Always ask, hey, where are we? What is going on? What can my buyer do to get this property, right? And you will not hurt anybody's feeling. If they don't want to give it, that's fine. But if they give it to you, then you are servicing your buyers. So thank you for bringing that up, Coco. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great story. Yeah, thank you. Okay, let's move on with our next lecture.
All right. So yeah, so we're talking about this is the age of the consumer. Just make sure that sound is off. Sound is off. And nowadays, so it's now when customers are looking at everything online, they're doing their own research. It's so easy to lose credibility because if your facts aren't correct, they're just going to call you out on it. And then so you need to stay both up to date and you need to be totally honest with the customer. And remember how that lady said that she goes on Yelp to find everything. So that implies that you need an online presence. You need reviews. You need something about yourself that they can look at, they can verify. So that will come later. We're not going to get into your Yelp reviews now. It'll come into chapter 4. Now it's time to do some math and then figure out how much a customer is really worth, because most of us are at least a little bit financially motivated by this.
The value of the customer. It's a financially motivated too, right?
Yeah. So there's that's one of the reasons to be a really good agent, is that you get paid more. So this is the value.
The price, of course, is a little off from here, right?
Yeah. So this table, it assumes that the customer moves every 10 years. And it assumes that the price of a median price of a US home starts at about $250,000, and that there's a 3% appreciation every year. So in 20 years, one customer just from buying and selling their own home is going to be worth $67,000.
But of course, remember our price point is so much higher than the one in the textbook. So that just means higher dollar for the commission.
Right. And then over here, they want you to do your own math. Basically, they gave you 1, 10, and 20, and then they asked you to continue on because what if you have a customer for 50 years, for 40, 50 years? And then you'll notice that in year 1, the commission is about, we'll say about 7,000. In year 10, if you add those two figures, you'll get about triple that. And then, so you'll have about 12. And then on 20, if you add 16,000 and 20,000, you'll have about 36. So it's basically tripling. So if you just extrapolate that, then 30 will be triple that, and it was 36, so it'll be about 100. So your total value will be about 170,000, and then beyond that, it'll be about 300. And by the time that you get to age 60, it's definitely over $1 million. That's from one customer, and that's only their own home sales. But after that, each customer who is very satisfied will refer about one person a year. So if you can include that from your previous clients, then each customer is easily worth millions and millions of dollars. And that's just the math behind it. The next thing is from a survey about what customers look for in an agent and why customers need your help. So I think this is very informative to know exactly what the customer is looking for. And you'll notice that a lot of it is the same on both the buyer and the seller side, such as honesty and trustworthiness on the right side. But a lot of them is also different. For example, the reputation of the agent matters more for a seller and less for a buyer. And that on the very far left, you can see that buyers, 52% of them need help finding the right home. So if you're just showing the homes that they ask you to show, then that's not really going above and beyond at all. So I'm gonna leave the screen share on so that you guys can see it. And then why don't you guys discuss anything that you noticed from these charts?
Are there any tricks on the charts, or you want them to pick on problems, or just share stories?
If you want to notice anything, we can also move on, but we do have some extra time. So if you want to talk about something that what they need your help with, or
yeah, maybe just focus on the top needs. So they could be
exactly.
having many type of options, right? But what's the most important for them? Because you may not be able to satisfy for all of their needs, right? But if they can,
like financing is at the bottom, teaching buyers about the neighborhood and the areas at the bottom, but negotiation and finding the right home are at the top.
But you know what, teaching the neighborhoods, even though it's on the bottom, but for some other people, that may be a very important factor. So this is more like a statistics, right? So I think really it's, you need to understand what your clients need. If their needs is for you to teach them about their neighborhoods, then that will become to be their top needs. And then once they realize you're the area specialist and you really understand what's going on with the neighborhoods, then they will have the trust in you. Once they build that trust, then you build that connection, they will choose you as the agent.
Right.
So everything goes back to, understanding their needs and then how to quote unquote please them or satisfy their needs so that you can connect with the customer.
Right. In the previous video, we just were looking at how much research these customers are doing and how much they know now. Well, it turns out that they still need your help for a lot of this, that you're not obsolete in any way just because of all the latest apps and MLS services.
Exactly. So technology cannot replace us, So you still have your value you can deliver to your clients. So don't, but we want to use technology to help us to become better, and so that your customer has a better experience.
Right. And then another question is, when you look at this, how does that affect how you structure your value proposition, because is the value that you're offering, is that part of, are these top needs covered by it?
Right. And once again, the value discussion is very personalized. It's not one size fit all. So I cannot stress this more than enough. Just basically, you have to remember, if this works for one person, it doesn't mean it may also work for the another person. Right. So you really have to understand the customer before you decide that's the best for your customer.
Right. And also, I guess this chart is misleading because all the columns, they all add up to 100%, which probably means that the customer was only able to choose one answer. So maybe they need help with a lot of help with financing and teaching, tell me how much I can afford, but they weren't able to choose it because they had to choose only one answer.
Mm-hmm.
Coco?
Yes, Rod.
Hi, this is Rod. So continuing on with the ahas of how I would change my practice, one asking, what is the ideal experience you're looking for? With this chart that Zen just put up, if they're confused or not sure what to answer as a buyer or a seller, perhaps you could present a list and ask them to pick what kind of experiences are you looking for in the area of marketing, or let them guide you in terms of what their ideal experience would be based on this list that Zen put up.
I love that idea because it's really you, this is where your value comes from, right? So maybe they don't know yet. They don't know what to look for. They're listening to you, but then you can give them all kinds of ideas. But then with the chart, it's actually a more organized way for you to present to them so that they can actually do multiple selections, right? I love that idea. Thank you, Rod. You always have good ideas. AJ, did you change your clothes?
It was pretty hot, so I just took out my sweatshirt.
The reason I mentioned that
you are
I am.
You are so observant, Coco. You have like 26 people and you're observing everything. That's awesome. That's awesome.
No, actually, you know, I want to share with you one story. Actually, the reason I even take on the class is because I was doing a personality seminar. But then that personality seminar all of a sudden becomes to be something totally different. The original, I thought this would be a good extension for my personality seminar to understand people, how to work with each other. You know, even like when Keller Williams doing hiring, they do the personality test as well. So I told Rob, I said, okay, I can do this because that's like a nice extension of my personality seminars. You know, it's very nice extension. But turned out when we're doing that personality seminar, it became to be something completely different. And then we're talking about something completely different, but also personality related. One of the things is about some tips for you. Then it's okay to share, right? The tips when you for the girls, how do they get attention for during a dating? So they said the color of the clothes you wear. So they said when a girl was having the intention did the study. So they were wearing something white and then went to the bathroom and they came back with something yellow. They went to the bathroom. So the guy never even asked anything until they changed to something red. So they said, oh, did you wear this red earlier? You know, so that's just a little background story. We did a little study for personalities. That's how this class came upon. Okay. All right.
So I have to ask all the ladies who all observed my change of attire. You know?
Yeah. I did.
I did, AJ.
Everybody
Rod,
did.
not interested in you, man. Come on.
All right. Okay. So we just talked about knowing thy customer. Now the last part's knowing thyself, because there's two parties in the relationship, the customer and you. You want the customer to choose you over someone else because you provide an exceptional experience. So to do that, you need to begin with a thorough understanding of yourself and your story. So imagine your customer is talking about, is at a party, and they're talking about their recent experience with you. So what is the story that you want them to tell about you? This is basically blank. So if you're not clear on what you want your customers to say about you, you need to be. That it's one thing for them to, you know, say something in front of your face, but you want to know, you want to be able to know what they're saying about you behind your back, and you want the control over that.
That's a great point, because we often don't know if whatever they are saying in front of us is actually true, right? So behind our back, so what do they say about us? Should we also provide a list for them so that we can actually put that idea into their mind?
Yeah, that's just going back to the very beginning again of being customer centric. Did we do everything that they could have imagined plus more?
So I have an interesting take on this, Coco, is that by understanding your customer, you kind of know what circles they move in. So let's say if there is a finance person, then they kind of know that they're going to be moving in the finance kind of circles, or if they are, I can hear my echo.
Oh, sorry, I'll turn it off because I was getting ready to share a video, but let me turn it off for now.
And then if they are creative types, like arts and creative types, and you know that they're going to move in that circle. So what you can do is you can find something on your side about something that you're good at those areas, and kind of feed that to your customers so that they can go talk about that to their circles and saying, hey, do you know that this guy's an agent, but he's amazing at finance too, man. I mean, he's awesome. So just a thought that came to my mind. So something is giving me an idea that, hey, maybe you can, as Zen was saying, we need to understand what our customer are saying about us, right? And the stuff. So, and then we need to make sure that they are saying what we want them to say. So you can take that approach as well.
Right, and also you mentioned about talking about something in line of what their interest field is. That's actually quite important. That's why people build bonding, right? Build connections. So if they are talking about sports, if you know a lot about that sports and you can talk about them, that's immediately that will bring you closer to the customer. So it's always like that. So that's, you know, if you have certain kind of hobby, very similar to their hobby, then you even build up a friendship. So I think that is going back to the original. If you become to be their friend, then nothing beats that connection, right? So it doesn't matter how good or how bad your competition is. If you become to be their friend or become to be have this connection besides real estate, I think that would actually help you a lot.
Okay, all right. So we have one more video, and this is the Know Thyself part. As you watch it, think about how are you and your team staying relevant, and how are you learning about the client? Okay, all right.
What are you doing for the real estate experience to exceed expectations?
We need to spend more time up front, you know, laying a foundation, because there's not a foundation that is strong enough in most situations. This is definitely a me generation, and that's why they want this experience. They go to Yelp to look at something so that they can make sure that the restaurant that they're going to not only has good food, but the ambience is there. They've already said that a house is a house, but they really want the community, they want the feel. So that's really important. And you know, what I do is that first impressions are so important. So I send them an electronic, because almost every one of these people don't want you to send a hard copy anything. So I've taken all of my material that was hard copy and made it into either a PDF or IZU, if you know that, which is like a book. And so we send them the pre-buyer package or the pre-listing package before they come in. When they come in, we have a electronic screen that their name is up there, they're welcomed. They come in, I have an opening ceremonies form that is all about them, because it's so important for me to understand the personality style right up front. So I have questions about the person. Are you direct? Are you life of the party? Are you family and friends, or are you a number cruncher? And then they check that off, and as I sit there to review this, they fill it out on their iPad. And so when I sit there and I'm looking and I say, wow, you know, you said here, family and friends. Do you wonder why I ask you that question? And they look and they say, yeah, I was wondering. And I say, because communication is the breakdown of the world. And so right now I want to start, and let's talk about communication. We talk about all kinds of things. And like you, this can last, depending on the personality style. A D person, it's going to be a lot quicker, but 69% of the population and a lot of the people in this generation are warm and fuzzy people, and they want an experience. And so when you know that, then you can deliver that and put that foundation down, and you don't have the issues. You know, for me to sit out there and listen and own a brokerage and listen to what these people, not only these people, all of the people that we had today, it has to do with us and being more proactive and really showing the value of being a realtor.
What a great way to do a pre-buyer package and pre-listing package, right? So many years ago, I heard, well, I attended one of the seminars, and then they were saying, oh, before the listing, I had somebody drop off the listing package. The reason I do that, I mean, that speaker said, the reason I do that is because I don't drop off myself. If I drop myself, then they start talking to me. Then that become to be a listing presentation already. I have my assistant drop it off so that they don't really get to speak with me, but they get to see the material. And also when I arrive, they are more prepared. So that was many years ago. But of course, right now we don't use people to drop off. You can actually email. So that was a great idea. You email the information ahead of time. And the same thing, you email for the buyer before you even meet. So, and then she mentioned that you can do the personality thing with the customer, which I haven't been trying, but I think I should, because if you understand their personality or even their circle of life, that would actually help from the personal level. Because after all, real estate is not just the business, it's also personal relationship. So it's beyond just professional relationship. So I think that's a great advice from the video I learned as well. Anybody else has any feedback or stories to share?
Coco, I'd like to just share one thing.
Yes.
Because the conversation this afternoon was kind of maybe if it's one person, but when you have a couple or when you have families, it takes a lot of finesse to balance both, or maybe even more than two, but typically two, you know, husband and wife, let's say. And you have to listen to both and be able to connect with both, because usually both are very different. So just work on the finesse of your business.
I totally agree. Yeah, AJ.
Yeah, I was going to say, Yvonne, that it's so amazing when you go to show houses to husband and wife and how much you can learn, right, by those conversations. Because sometimes what happens is you would hear from one party that this is absolutely what is needed as a requirement. And you would think it is coming from, let's say a husband says, hey, I need this, or this is what we have as a requirement. And you think that's their requirement. But then when you are talking and when you're showing to husband and wife, it almost comes, you will learn that it is actually coming from the wife, not from the husband. Husband is just relaying the communication to you. He becomes the messenger. So I pay very good point that you brought up. I pay very particular attention to where things are coming from and who has what opinion about, you know, this requirements and things like that. That helps a lot, by the way. So.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Totally agree. And the worst case scenario is not even about husband and wife. It's about a friend who joined later on. Oh my gosh, that can kill your deal. So what can you do? You're dealing with people. So they have friends who are very knowledgeable, who appear to be very knowledgeable, And that could be something you cannot ignore. That's the only thing. So when they try to seek for friends' opinion, that's a little bit dangerous right now. But then you just have to really follow your rule of customer experience. You know, you have to include everybody so that we have a good customer experience.
I had heard in one of the trainings, Coco, that they said that, and somebody said that the way they learned this the hard way is that in a very civilized way, they ask, hey, who are the people who would be in this decision making, right? And they try to uncover that information right up front on the intake interview or in the first conversation.
That's a great advice. Great advice. Yeah. That's a great advice because then you understand, sometimes you will be surprised to find out you are not even dealing with the principal. I have shown homes to somebody for a long time, and then they learn how to they realize they are not even the decision maker. And then find out, okay, how come you didn't tell me sooner, right? So you are totally right. Yeah. Ask upfront about, you know, who will be involved for decisions, and also ask upfront, maybe just do the pre-checking, learning about the personality, learning about their life circle, and then try to make the transaction more successful, more smooth. Later on, no more surprise. Well, minimize the surprises, put it this way. Yeah. This is, I thought this is a great class.
This is the final part of it is at the very end, what you need to do to stay relevant is these three things, but they're all very deep, and you really need, there's multiple steps, and you really need to figure these out for yourself. They're different for everybody. And the good thing is that in the manual or the workbook that you were sent as in the PDF, the customer experience, they will explain all these, like the preferred communication styles. They go with a sort of a DISC type assessment. So not like Myers-Briggs, but more of assertive, sociable, structured, and steady. They talk about, number one, talk about doing your research. Number two is talking about how people make decisions, listeners, whether they're detail oriented and stuff. And number three is to set up your value proposition so that you know what you represent and what the customer gets when they hire you. That's just about it. There's activities and workbook pages for you to complete. Some of them will be covered later, so you don't have to do it all right now. And that's it for the entire chapter 1. You're ready to go into chapter 2, which is setting and serving. So if anyone has any more takeaways or aha moments or closing statements, now is the time to share.
Well, I want to say you guys did a really good job of having this the class flow. I know it's not easy, and so you guys just made it seamless. Coco, I would like to ask you, approximately how long does your buyer presentation last?
Buyer presentation? You mean like
your consultation when you meet with your buyer? How long does that usually go for?
Usually about half an hour to 45 minutes, just to understand what they're looking for, and then throughout the whole process, of course, give them more tips of what to pay attention to. But it's almost impossible for you to give them everything in the beginning, because you could be running into different scenarios. And if you do want to give them all the concepts up front, then they get confused. So in the beginning, try to keep it simple but understand what they need, and then try to reconnect with later meetings, not in the initial meetings.
That's good to know. Yeah, mine tend to go like a couple hours long because they have lots of questions, and it's like drinking, I'm feeding them water out of a fire hose. This is just so much information.
That's what I'm trying to say. If you gave so much information, then they don't really understand. And then it's going to be scenario based, right? So you're going to run into different scenarios. So I personally think that'd be very confusing for them rather than informational. So information maybe later on while you are looking at houses, you can feed that information. So you don't repeat what you said. Sometimes you repeat, of course, but then you give them new information based on each scenario. I think that's more effective. If you have 2 hours, that's just very draining, right?
It is.
I think, Terry, though, I started with that, and then I quickly realized that one is it is a first meeting. You don't know how many other agents they're interviewing and things like that, and they may not go with you. So then you have spent 2 hours of your time. Is what we used to do in my technology days is what is called a abstract or an elevator spiel for initial, so that you craft a message of where your value proposition is clear to them, and you can give it to them and ask them a few questions. But really what you're trying to do is you're trying to get to the second meeting, so that you can understand where they are coming from, and you're giving them an elevator speech to say, hey, be interested in me, be interested in my company. I can answer all your questions. So I've slowly developed that, where I try to get it done in half hour to 45 minutes, so that I'm not spending so much time. And this helps with open houses. This helps with virtual tours also as well, because you have people coming in.
My 2 hours isn't me talking about me, though. It's a lot of talking about them. And it just seems to be like the 7 going 7 deep with it gets to what point, right? Does someone just kind of sitting in their chair and they're done? And I don't want them to be in that situation. So that's why I just wanted to know, because I know you're successful. You do a great job, and just wanted to know whether it would make sense for me to just cut it shorter.
I think it also depends. If you feel more comfortable, and if that's your strength, and then and if that works out for you, you may want to continue your way, because it's not a rocket science. It's not like you have to do half an hour, you have to do 1 hour or 2 hours. If it works for you, see whether it works for you. What I'm trying to start doing right now is I start doing YouTube videos because they ask me the same question over and over. So I said, okay, I record a YouTube video. You watch the video. I don't know whether it's going to be successful or not, but that's what I'm doing right now. I'm also doing trial and error as well.
that's been on my my things to do probably for like 5 years.
Yeah.
I'm to that point where I get tired of reading, and if it's a video, I'm going to listen to it, and it's going to go in. And so I've thought about doing that for my listing presentations and buyer stuff. I just haven't done it. So thanks for the reminder.
I just started, and then I don't know whether it's going to be successful or not, but I just found it's like, okay, I sound like a broken record. I'm repeating my answers to everybody. So why don't I just record it? So that's what I'm doing. So I'll let you know next session. If I ever get to teach again, I'll let you know whether my YouTube is successful or not.
Send it to me and just put my face on it, okay?
I wanted to caveat that with what I said, Terry, is that if I find that somebody I'm pretty sure that they are going to go with me, then I will spend that 1.5 hours. So if I'm very confident that they are, they're not looking at other people, then of course I'll spend that much time. It's the only time when I might not spend is when I know that, hey, they are in the process of just still looking around and doing the stuff. So just wanted to caveat that. But I, like you, will spend the time if I think, hey, there is a chance for me to get this buyer or this seller.
That's right, because otherwise you may be losing a good opportunity to work with the buyer. You want to spend the time on them if you have a good feeling. And long time ago, I used to sign a buyer agreement. We don't sign buyer agreement anymore, just so you know. Even Keller Williams teaches us to sign buyer agreements. I just start to believe it's more of value driven or service driven. If they like us, they will go with us. So instead of trying to bind them with an agreement for buyers, so we have stopped in signing buyer agreement for, I would say, for at least 2 years. Yeah, but before they did teach us how to do that. I think it's an effective way, but I just decided maybe it's better just provide the service and go with the flow, and hopefully we'll win the business. And we do, of course, try our best to win the business. Yeah.
Very interesting, Coco. That's good to know. that's
That
good
is actually
validation.
against the company
Yeah.
promoted, right? Yeah.
But
It's a good idea to sign the buyer agreement. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good validation because I never do it. I never bring it up. I just provide the value and hope that they will come to me because to me, yeah, that a lot of times, yeah, that doesn't work. So it's okay.
Yes.
Right, yeah.
But I know the company actually, they actually have classes to teach you how to sign the buyer agreement. And then we actually signed it before. And I found it's useful. But then, it's just not working the greatest for me. So I decided to go with the flow. So just like what AJ is saying, just hopefully provide the value so that they will go with us. Yeah. Any other comments?
I wanted to say great class, Zen and Coco. This format was amazing. So thank you so much.
Thank you. We're trying to think because 2 hours is it's not long, but it's not short. You know, how do we make this not boring so that everybody has something to take away with? And then hopefully that will help you with your real estate career. And then tomorrow you will all be ready for Yvonne. That will take you deeper into this customer relationship.
Yeah, thank you, Coco. Great class.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you. And then have a great year. And I'll see you guys around if pandemic allows us to go back to office.
Okay.
All right. Have a great one. See you later. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
If you stop the recording.
Bye.